Okay. All right. So, okay. So welcome to the Soul Contract Reading Q&A. I'm Nicolas David, name of the Center of Conscious Ascension. Purpose of this is, most of you probably read the book, and to ask questions about the book or any other aspect of the work. I've been in the middle of moving house, so I'm just sort of getting back into it. Just like who are on video, just say your name, just so I get to know you and where you're from, what brought you here, and what you'd like from us. We're sort of setting collective attention. And you other guys who are in the attendee room, you can just switch your mic on and sort of put your hand up and switch your mic on if you want to say something, or just put it in the chat and I'll read it out, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. So who would like to go first? Lucia, what brought you here?
Yes, good morning. My name is Lucia from Atlanta, Georgia. What brought me here is I'm in the process of really being of service to humanity.
Yeah.
And bringing everything that I've learned as far as different modalities in healing and sharing that with anybody that's needing assistance as I went through the healing journey and just researched a whole bunch of different modalities. And it has helped me tremendously. I'm still in the journey, and one of them being soul contracts, really understanding more on my personal level with the different names that I have used and understanding the different energies with the different names. So that's what brought me here today.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to share next? Thank you, Lucia.
You're welcome.
Just wave at me if you want to share. Because the more I hear from you guys, the more I can pitch the way we're going to do this, because it's your webinar. Depends what you want. Okay. Precious, are you trying to switch your microphone on, are you? And let me just try and help you there. Hang on. It's on the bottom left. Okay. It's on the bottom left.
Awesome.
That's it. Go for it.
All right. Awesome. So my name is Precious and I'm from Texas.
Yeah.
And I have always almost my entire life like see numbers all the time and involve myself around numbers. And I actually like almost when I wear jerseys or shirts with numbers on them, not knowing what they mean or anything of this nature. And I ran across a video about numbers, and then I just started researching, and then I like to gain knowledge, and I'm always about self-help, and it just felt like I was like stuck, or one moment, my pup wants to get out. Like I was stuck, and I just started researching some books, and I ran across your book, and almost like maybe the 20th page or around there, it says when you hit 40, you hit your midlife crisis, or you're going to find this book. And I was like, I started doing the math. I'm 42 years old exactly, and I always talk about numbers. And I started adding up my numbers to my jerseys and my name, things of this nature. But I am an avid worker, so I work for corporate America from 6 to 7, Monday through Friday. And then I do some type of what I would do, just like Reiki work on the side. I became Reiki 2, got my certificate in that. And I just feel like stuff is calling me to open up and to engage in what the numbers really mean and how to use them for my greater benefits. And so I won't have to be suffering, and I can get not know exactly, but at least an inkling of what my soul is actually trying to say, what I'm actually trying to project with getting all this knowledge and understanding and seeing all these signs and now putting them together and you have this book. Oh, wow. And you can talk to him maybe, but what are your questions? You read the book, but it was in a skim. You listened to it while you're working. I'm working now, you know, but I thank you for letting me speak.
Okay, thank you. I'd also like to share what's brought them here. Katie?
Hi. I don't know why my video is not working.
You've got to say yes to being a panelist. Okay,
Oh, okay.
that's the reason I invite you guys to be panelists, because then you can switch the video on. So just
Okay. Can you hear me now?
you just have to switch the video on. There you go.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for your help. Speaking of being 40, I turned 40 last November, and then my husband took me on a 40th birthday trip. I'm in Florida. We went to North Carolina in the mountains, and we bought some incense and needed a lighter to take back to our cabin, and your book basically jumped into my hands. So I felt like I didn't know anything about numerology before that. I'd learned Reiki before, I learned Akashic Records before, and I was like, oh, I wasn't here to buy a book. I just needed a lighter, and I'm like, I think I should take this. And so I bought it, and I read it within like a day, and it was really inspired. And then it actually caused me to learn more numerology. So I've been like on a numerology binge since December, thanks to your book.
Okay, where did you buy the book?
In North Carolina, it was a shop that was called, funny enough, I think it was called like Your Daily Karma.
Where was that? Was that in Nashville?
Yes.
Okay, I know that shop. Yeah, okay. I used to teach there, so.
Oh, wonderful. How special.
In Nashville, so. Okay, thank you. Welcome. Anyone else want to introduce themselves? Lauren, do you want to introduce yourself, seeing you're brave enough to show yourself on the screen?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm from Oklahoma. And since I was really young, I had very vivid dreams about being places or having memories of things. And I would tell my mother, like, I've already seen this movie. I've been like to the layout of this place. And she thought it was very strange. And I always felt odd because of it. And so then I got quiet over it. And as I got older, I would be intuitive over somebody would speak and I would have just words or sentences in my mind. And then they would say those things. And I just thought it was so odd. And I was working at a casino and I told someone something that I really wanted to happen, but it was not true. And then it happened. And I was very young. And I was like, it never ceased to exist. And then occasionally I would have images in my mind. And then weeks or months or even years later, I would be opening that cabinet and see how those things were arranged. And it was a completely different house that we had moved to. And so I felt there was always some type of divine or higher connection. But if I spoke on it, being from Oklahoma, close to Texas, people do not like to hear that. Big questions are not welcomed. And so being 36, I came to a point in my life, like I've gone through so many jobs, get burnt out, always start off very eager and a workaholic, but I've always leaned into being more like creative expression, writing, being in nature, like everything can overload me. But if I get outside and am amongst nature, it calms everything. And so learning certain things and then getting older and realizing like there is plant-based medicine, but it also takes akin to your wellness. And growing up in the country and getting back into nature, my body would calm down. And I always rationalize like, oh, you only have these feelings because, but it was my brain, not my body. So I finally decided, okay, I'm going to listen to my body and see what my body is saying, you know? And so my career was very displeasing. I felt like I had a greater purpose, and I always enjoyed helping people. And a lot of the time, talking to certain people would come about some honest truths that I never could assimilate myself. And I've always been somewhat, I guess what people would say, like scatterbrained. They always take me for really ignorant. Anytime I've been in a class, start a new job, it's really hard for me to understand the information as it's presented to me. But then when I finally assimilate it, I run with it. So, you know, I came across, you know, Yana on YouTube, and I was like, okay, well, what book is she talking about? So then I got this book, and I had recently quit a job that I had been at for a long time, but nothing felt satisfying. And so I believe there was so much behind the book, and it just blew my mind. And I kept reading it and kept reading it. And I'm like, okay, how do I assimilate this to completely understand it, to start working on myself? So I can find that greater purpose and be aligned with it. And I just realized nothing is out of coincidence. And I listened to Yana and Lauren's podcast, and I guess they're students of yours. And I'm like, okay, I want to take this man's training. And so I saw that you had some free webinars, and I had watched a few. And I just felt like I needed more information to understand that and how to work through it. And I began to kind of trust more in the flow of our creator, God, and realize once that he is within me, everything's been a lot more positive and changed my mindset a lot more. But I'm here to learn and try to write down some stuff and take it all in. So thank you for having us.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to share from the attendee group? Just put your hand up. We'll put it in the chat. I'll read it out. Otherwise, we'll keep going.
It says the chat is disabled.
Is it disabled, is it?
Yes.
Why is that? Let me see if I can fix that. Not sure what to do with that. Just talk to me. It's better anyway. So
I know it says Jalissa underneath this, but I'm listening with Jalissa here. My name is Danny. I actually found your book through Jalissa because she took your course a few months back. I forgot what course it was, but then she was talking about the soul contract, and I really, really like it. Touched me. I really liked it a lot. So I'm not really into spirituality, but that book, I started reading it, and then I couldn't stop reading it. But I had a few questions because when I was born, I had a different name. And then when I came to the US, it changed here when I became a citizen. And in my country, they also had this problem with birthdays where you had a birthday over there, and then when you got here, it actually changed. I don't know how, but that's what. So I wanted to see how that affects your contract.
okay, yeah, we can get to that later. Yep, Manny. All right, just remember to ask me a bit later once we got into it. Thank you. All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anyone else in the attendee room want to introduce themselves? Switch your mic on, and if you want to. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So actually, I'm just going to send a test message to you guys, just sort of setting. So, Manny, can you see that test message I just sent on the chat? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it works. I think I found it. I had to change
But
it.
it still says disabled on my end.
It's still disabled for you. I don't know what to do about that. Sorry.
It's all good. I'll ask if I have any questions.
Hang on. No, try now. I found the setting. This is new.
Now it works. There it goes.
Yeah. So anyone else want to sort of, like, Zoom keeps getting changed all the time. So anyone else in the attendee room want to put in the chat why they're here? I can read it out. No? We'll continue then. Okay. All right. So let me share the screen here. Because a lot of you guys come from different backgrounds, I'm just going to give an overview of the works. Some people may have, some of you guys may be coming almost from cold. So we'll do this. Just want to get my presentation up here. Okay. Right. Just going to rearrange things a little bit so I can see you guys. Okay. So this webinar is when you're burning pretty much any question you want to ask about the book and the philosophy around it, so you can go deeper into it. We just found out why you guys are here. Okay. I'm going to sort of give a top-level summary of the work. Some of you may be aware of this from reading the book. Some will watch this video cold, so they'll need to know what's going on. So basically, with the soul contract work, one of the principles of it is that our karma contains our spiritual gift of service. And by the law of attraction, we attract actually the opposite of what we're here to become initially, which may seem a bit strange. And what we're going to do here is understand how we can transform our karma to claim our gifts of service. Because some of you guys have already asked, well, what's my purpose? So I just need to pause. There's a tap dripping in this new house here, this new apartment. Just a minute. I'll be back in a minute. It's making a lot of noise. Sorry about that. It was really getting really distracting. So basically, some of you guys have been asking me, or everyone asks as a light worker, what is my purpose? Where do I find this thing? And our purpose, our soul's purpose, a lot of it is found in the most challenging things we face in life. It's actually in our karmic patterns, which is the last place we would want to look at. And most of us are pretty averse to actually looking at our challenges simply because it's too painful for our ego to feel the issues. So in the soul contract work, we spend a lot of time looking at, well, what actually is your karmic patterns, both physically and spiritually, and what do you do about it? Most importantly, how do you transmute them into your gift of service? Okay, and so what happens here is that a lot of light workers are sent to Earth, hundreds of millions of us, and asking that very question. They want to know, what am I here to really do? There's some secret. I know there's a secret, but no one can tell me the answer. I did that when I was young. I felt that no one could give me the answer. School didn't give me the answer. Work, parents, no one had a clue. And it wasn't until even when I was at work, no one could give me the clue. And it wasn't until I met Frank Alper, who was the founder of this work in 1990, and learned this work from him, that I discovered what I was here to really do, which was it was nothing to do with what the Matrix was telling me. It was here to teach and awaken people. And some of you expressed interest in the level 1 training, which is how to generate birth charts and give readings, and that helps other light workers when you get out there and well to decode the secrets of the blueprint of your life hidden within the sounds of their birth name. And there are 4 components to it, basically. there is soul contract or produces a spiritual map of life that empowers others to overcome their karma. If that's the thing that gets our attention the most, usually for our whole life, express more of our talents, which are that a good match helps overcome the karma and helps us achieve our goals. There's a lot of people out in the world are very frustrated because they don't understand this map, therefore they're not following that map. And if you're not aligned with what's really meant to happen, life gets pretty challenging, as you all know. And that's most humans, and you come back and do it again. And if you work through all your karmic patterns by bringing your talents online, then achieve your goals as a result of the talents getting stronger, then there's a much better chance you'll manifest your soul or life purpose. So this work is all about getting in alignment with the soul, So how does it work? So to come to Earth, you need to program in an experience. And you only can come to Earth when you're ready, when the karmic board of Earth feels, okay, it's now time. You're ready for this level of spiritual school. But you've got to put in place a curriculum. You've got to put in place a contract of a specific set of experiences, which are based upon past life experience. They're going to be the next optimal step for your growth. So the way we work out what that is that we use the Star of David. There's a large downward pointing triangle, which represents the creation of our interface, our ego, how it connects to the outer world, the matrix, how we're going to interact with it. Because when we're born, we have a brand new personality expression described by the soul contract. Okay? It's our emotional, physical, mental avatar to interact with the reality. So between the ages of, from the time you're born up to about the age of 35, the first 5 cycles of 7 years, the main focus is on the physical triangle, even though the spiritual one is running as well, because you've got to learn to walk and talk, condition responses, get up and running in life. And between 35 and 42, people wake up. Some of you experienced, like Lauren said, she left that job. So between 35 and 42 is where we have the spiritual awakening, dark night of the soul, midlife crisis, whatever you want to call it. So where the soul is saying, okay, done enough of this physical stuff, let's get on with what's really important. So it's wanting to build this spiritual triangle. This contains more of the true nature of the mission on the grounded physical triangle that you've set up here. And within each of these triangles, there's 3 aspects. There's karma, talents, and goals. So karma is those unresolved past life issues that we just discussed, which you need to bring attention to. You need to activate your physical talents in this case, which infuse into this physical karmic position. And the soul wants you to feel your way through all these challenges, whatever they are, and most importantly, transmute them into your gift of service. So rather than turning away, which is what the majority of humans do, it's about engaging at a feeling level. Because actually, it's not as hard as it sounds. Once you get into it, just the ego is scared of feeling negative emotions. And as that becomes stronger, as those talents, that karma becomes positive energy, layer by layer throughout a lifetime, it is then delivered to the world as your gift of service. I mean, my physical karma is a 3-3, which some of you may know is about feeling very unworthy, to be seen, heard, and I was very shy as a child. I couldn't give a prepared speech at school. I was shy of girls. I couldn't pick up the phone and talk to anybody. But once I learnt about that from Frank, then I realized I needed to gradually overcome it, which is what I did to become the teacher that I am today. So that was the gift. Communication teaching came out of great unworthiness and shyness. And as the talents get stronger, that helps you to overcome the karma. The physical talents then infuse into the physical goals, which is like the dream you have about life. We all have these dreams of what we'd love to do. Okay? I live in England now, from New Zealand originally, and I always rented property here because it's quite expensive. But then an opportunity came up at the beginning of this year to actually buy an apartment. And I just moved in yesterday for the first time when I actually own, which seems a bit surreal to me. But I have 8 A's here, which is about grounding in the earth, and that includes owning something and being responsible for it. So those are the goals that we seek to achieve in the physical world in this case. And in spiritual karma, this is how do we disconnect from higher consciousness? And this is about how our ego disconnects, because the whole point of being disconnected is then to learn to reconnect and go on that visceral emotional journey, reconnecting to higher consciousness. Because then that gift will be delivered as part of your curriculum to others, and helping others wake up. And the spiritual talents here, they basically activate to overcome this if it's a good match. And then those talents, then as they get stronger, help you achieve the spiritual goals. So if you consciously work on all these 6 outer aspects, which you can once you've learned, once you've had a reading, read the book, okay, what's happening over time, this is percentage complete, is that you're going much faster through each of these 6 aspects. You've got one of these for all of them. They all have one of these. And you're going in the right direction. You're in alignment. Most humans never get aligned, so life's very, very frustrating. And you're going, normally if you didn't have this, you'd go like this, snail's pace. But if you do have this, you know what's important. You know to throw away all the things which aren't. And as you work through these, that contributes towards starting to manifest the answer to the biggest question we all have is, why am I here? And your soul destiny or life purpose starts to reveal itself. And it reveals itself in layers, okay? And you only hear a layer of that purpose when your mind and your consciousness is ready. You'll never hear more than you can handle. When I started this work, I escaped from the corporate world at the age of 37. And I just knew I wanted to give readings and do healing. I didn't have any well thought out plan. I was just following the feeling in me. Because I left my job. I saw this 200-foot cloud angel across a blue summer skies day in London from my glass box in the city, my corporate office block. And it literally talked to me. And I just knew I had to leave. I left about 6 months later from that job, and having no idea what was going to happen next. I just trusted the flow. And then I had no idea I'd write a book, but Spirit came to me in 2011, said, we're going to write a book about this work. I said, well, I don't know how to write a book. And I said, we'll teach you. So all the right things and people and resources came up, and it did really well. It woke up a lot of people. So, because I was ready for that layer of the soul destiny, as you will be. So you never quite know how life's going to turn out. It's about following the spiritual signature. And what that means is following what opens your heart the most in each moment. Because there is a plan for each of you and for the people you'll help in your life. If you just follow what opens your heart, because when that happens, life opens and flows. That's the key. And the more you understand about the soul contract, the more gracefully you can flow with where the soul wants to take you. Because the ego thinks it knows what's going on, but really it doesn't know anything. So I'll demonstrate this now. Who would like a taster reading? Who would like a short 10, 15-minute reading? Okay. All right. Lucia. Okay. Well, so Lucia, where are you from originally?
Originally was born in California.
Okay. So is there a Spanish component to your name?
Yes, my family's from Mexico.
Okay, but you were born in California.
I was born in California. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What we're going to do is we'll use the version of your name as it's spelt on your American birth certificate, because we don't have the time to do the phonetics to convert it into a pure Spanish sound. It'll take too long.
Okay.
So I'm going to find soul contract software. And you can
Okay.
find software at soulcontractreader.com. You can get 4 free charts out of this. Okay. Generate your
Okay.
own chart. So Lucia, what's your current name? Sorry, I put this in here.
My current name is Lucia Carlos Valentino. And I can put it in the chat if you would like me to.
Does that look okay there?
Let me see.
You might want to put the phone sideways if you're on a phone. You can see it.
Lucia Carlos Valentino. Yes,
Okay,
that's my married name.
Okay, so what's your birth certificate name?
Lucia Mesa, Mesa.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's the
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
that's what's on my birth certificate.
Yeah.
But what I was used in school and everything, it was with the Z.
Okay, well, we'll go with what's on the birth certificate. So
Yeah, that right there.
So this answer I'm going to give you also applies to you, Manny. So what's on the birth certificate is like the cake of your life. It's who you are and always will be. Okay.
Okay.
But any other name you use, like Mesa with a Z or Manny with other name, you only said your name got changed. That becomes like a
Yes.
layer of icing of different frequencies on top of that cake. And that will infuse different energies and the adjacent same aspect, like physical karma to physical karma, and that'll help you grow in certain ways. Okay.
Okay.
We're not going to put your birth date in because it's a public video. Okay. So.
Okay.
But we can put your star sign. What's your star sign, if you want?
My star sign?
Yeah. What astrological sign have you got? Were you born under? If you know it.
Well, I can give you my date of birth.
Well, this is identity protection here. We have to be careful because this is a public YouTube video that anyone can watch.
Okay. So my horoscope is Sagittarius.
Okay, that's all we need.
But my sun sign is Capricorn.
Let's go for Capricorn then. So you're okay if we do this here. Consent, date in. All right. And we will go okay, and we'll generate your chart. So we'll go chart here. Okay, so this is a short name, Lucia. It's not a 6-pointed star because we don't have enough information to basically generate the star day that I just showed you. Okay. So we have karma talents and goals rather than physical karma, physical talents, physical goals, spiritual karma, spiritual talents, spiritual goals. All right. So we have a single triangle here. So what we've done is that we've matched your name here as it's spelled, okay, which gives a very good reading with the equivalent Hebrew sounds. And these are the Hebrew sounds here. And we use 22 Hebrew sounds to match the 26 letters of English. And within those Hebrew sounds, there are numbers, which are these guys here. And we're going to decode these numbers on this single triangle. So we take these numbers like 12, 6, 11. We go 12, 6, 11, and then 10, 1, 13, 10, 1, 13, and then 5, 15, 1, 5, 15, 1. And we allocate them in that clockwise spiral till we use them all up. And then we add them up. So here in spiritual and karma, we have a 27. 27 doesn't have a meaning because Frank channeled the frequencies of 22 numbers through the soul of Moses. So we have to reduce this to the first number between 1 and 22. So we simply go 2 plus 7 equals 9. And there's always 2 numbers in each aspect. So we go 9 plus nothing goes not a 9, 9. So it's a double 9 there.
Okay.
In talents, you've got a 22, which we do have meaning for. So we go 22 There's a second number here, so we simply go 2 plus 2 equals 4. So you get a 22-4 here. The 7 here comes because we go 2 plus 5 equals 7. And that doesn't reduce anymore. We get a 7-7 because 25 is greater than 22. So we'll do a little mini reading for you. So did you have a lot of disempowering experiences, Lucia, when you were younger?
Yes.
Yeah, like could have been bullied or disempowered, could be parents, work, school, that sort of thing go on?
Yes, parents.
Yeah. Okay, so the purpose of that was so you would feel very disempowered, the negative expression of the 9, and then it's about you going on the journey to become empowered, to come into your power, to go step by step, viscerally through that journey of claiming your power back. So you're fully in this dragon energy. This is 9. It's the most powerful number in the system. How's that been going?
It's been going good.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? How you've moved from that disempowered place to where you are now?
Yes. So as a child, I was very restricted. I felt like I wanted to explore the world and do everything and anything. And if I didn't get the permission of my parents, I couldn't do it, or I would get in trouble. I would get punished. And so now that I am an adult and I have kids, I have then empowered my children and raised them completely different than when I was raised, and have given them the choice of choosing their life. And if they want to explore, they can explore. And so that has opened me up as well to explore on my end as far as being an adult. So passing a different upbringing with my kids, I feel has helped. And in return, I have now explored and have felt more confident in life, expressing myself and not feeling like I have to ask permission.
Okay, very good. You're doing a good job on that. Okay.
Thank
How
you.
old are you now, can I ask?
I'm 43.
Okay, so you've just moved from the 6th cycle, because between 35 and 42, we make the transition to the spiritual, but now you're into the next cycle, the 7th cycle, where you're really getting on with it, by the sounds of it. Is that about right?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. So in talents, we were 22-4. So are you doing a normal corporate job or therapeutic job? What sort of work do you do, Lucia?
So I transitioned from a corporate job to a nonprofit. It's still a 9 to 5 type job. So that part, it's still restricting. But the work that I do, I enjoy. I'm being of service to people and helping them prepare for a mortgage to buy home.
Okay. So the 22-4 here is the symbol of the blending of mind, body, soul in the circle of God. It's about being very connected to source. Then sharing it. This is the flow, sharing, duplicating and sharing the flow of nature, which is what the 4 is. Sharing it with people in whatever way they need. So do you find in your job you're very versatile? You can adapt to whatever people need?
Say it again.
Do you find in your job that you're very versatile? You can pretty much do anything you want if it interests you enough.
As far as the job that I do,
Well, the job what that you do and pretty much anything in life, even outside the job.
if I feel like I can do anything,
If it interests you, do you find you can turn your hand to lots of different things and do them well?
yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because you're drawing the multidimensional experience from the soul and you're just remembering how to do it. Okay,
Hmm.
because this is about connection to source, all the high dimensional parts of you, and therefore
Okay.
sharing that flow with others to help them. Now,
Hmm.
did you used to hide away from people when you were younger? The goals are 7 here. Did you hide away, not show your true self? Did you hide the real Lucia here, then put on a public face, like a mask?
I would say yes.
Yeah. So what was happening there? How did the real you feel?
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
How did you feel about showing your true self? Did that feel unsafe?
It did, I would say, because life at home was not great,
Yeah.
and I didn't really talk about it.
Yeah. So what happens is that the inner child retreats because she feels unsafe to be seen, and she puts out a mask
Mm,
publicly.
okay.
All right. So how do you feel about showing your true self?
Now I feel better.
Can you say that again? I didn't quite catch that. The sound wasn't working there.
I feel better showing myself.
Okay, good. All right. So this is saying the sevens are saying you're here to bring out with an open heart the real you and to magnetize to you like-minded people and to synergize them into a greater whole. Okay, how does that feel as an idea to you?
Say it again.
You're here to magnetize to you like-minded people,
Uh-huh.
okay,
Okay.
who want to connect with you and to build a network of people and to be a facilitator. Okay.
Oh, okay.
How's that played out for you in your life?
I feel like that's something that I am interested in. At the same time, I'm confused on where to establish that because I am interested in so many different things that I tend to feel overwhelmed on choosing one.
Okay. The key with this, because there's always going to be choice. The seven has many choices. The key with that is to actually try them on in your heart to see which one opens your heart the most. Okay.
Okay.
Not think about it too much.
Okay.
All right.
My
If you
heart.
think about it too much, then
Don't think. Okay.
you're going to get confused. It's not a mind-based decision here that you're going to make. Okay.
Yes, I get very confused. Thank you.
So give me an example of a couple of things and we'll show you how that works.
So I am interested in fitness
Right.
and helping people in the fitness world.
Yeah.
And guiding them in that journey.
Yeah.
But I'm also interested in finances because that's been my experience in guiding people in the finance area.
Yeah.
And I'm also interested in modalities, so astrology, human design, soul contracts. And I'm looking to learn how to tap into my Reiki, energy healing. And so there's a lot that I've come across that I want to share with people because of what I've experienced on my end and healing and just in life. And so I want to share it all.
Okay. All right, so the key is to try what feels to be the most important thing to you at this stage.
At this stage, helping others heal.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so try that on your heart. Okay. I thought the machine's working now.
Oh,
Okay, we're back on this one. I'm just going to adjust the recording here. Okay, we're back on this one. I'm just going to.
okay.
It's going to bring me back here.
Okay.
Okay. Right, I'm back. I think that's working. Sorry about this. Ended Mercury retrograde, so it's been playing up a lot. Okay, so close your eyes and feel in your heart helping others like you just described. And just feel into what your heart's doing. Comes up for you.
It's holding space for people.
How does your heart feel? As you do
Right
that?
now, it's a lot of energy moving through me right now.
Yeah. Okay, so just feel how open your heart is. Okay, how open did that feel to you?
Say it again.
How open did your heart feel to you?
How open does it feel right now? It feels open a lot.
Okay. Okay. Now I want you to let that one go. It's good for all of you trying to decide what to do. And try one of the other options you came up with. And see how that feels.
Yeah, I keep
How does that
feeling
feel?
pulled more towards the modalities and sharing that with others.
Yeah. So that's your soul. Purposely, rather than trying to just inside the space, because the ultimate decision you have to make is to show your real self or not, which means it's hard to make any other decision. The way you make decisions, this applies to all of you in any case, is whatever opens the heart the most is following the signature. That's how you transition, say, from this corporate world, some of you are doing this, into your true purpose. Okay. Because your mind, our minds are very scientifically trained in the West. We'll try and figure it out, which won't work. But there is a plan for all of you, created by your soul contract. And if you feel in your heart what opens it the most and take the action at the right time, you'll notice it always works. And it's something your mind's not going to be able to grasp. Okay. When I first left the corporate world, I tried to work it all out the way I've been trained. It would be left brain. Only half the things would work, which some of you may have noticed. But now I make decisions based upon what feels right. And it tends to work all the time because I've sort of had to dissolve my ego over many years and I just sort of be still and I just listen. And then things come, I do it, it works. Okay, so that's a sort of major thing that transition we make when we move from the being out in the physical corporate world or normal 3D matrix type jobs into doing our spiritual mission. And the more we surrender our ego by dissolving it, by working on the issues which are described in the contract, the more graceful life's going to be. Okay. So I hope that helped.
Yes, it did. Thank
Okay.
you.
Right. So, anyone got any questions on that? While seeing we after the demo, so this is the time you want to ask any questions, you can.
So I've noticed that, you know, as somebody that always has to have a plan or a plan B if something doesn't work out, I will be at school. I just recently changed careers.
Yeah.
One that was more flexible or in line to my own personal clock. And one that I could have creative expression over. And while I'm working, because I have a lot of negative thoughts about myself, I have to tell myself, you know, what do I feel right now? Like, God is of me and I'm of God, or I am one. And if we are all in the image of Him and made the same, you know, I shouldn't feel, if I can care about this person, I should care about myself. And if I have that divine, you know, love and hand of God, or whatever you would like to call spirit, creator, and He's my co-creator, what I'm doing well, and I need to accept that. And it has been very hard, but the more that I don't think or plan, the easier it is to just let it happen and listen to your body, because your mind wants to keep you safe and have a backup plan. But that's where all I feel like the blockages are. And so the less I think about it and the more I become conscious and aware of my body, and having some positive affirmations being of our creator, the easier it's been to just go with the flow.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to let go, but you can feel it. And it's just difficult now being in front of 20 other people, because you can feel so many energies and it can be confusing. But if I really focus, I can focus my own. And then what I do well, because I keep telling myself, you know, I'm of God and He is good. And so am I. And what I can do is creatively through Him. And He's conscious within me. And He didn't make any mistakes. And I'm here for a reason. And it has helped a lot, even though it has not been easy.
Yeah. Well, this is the dissolution of the ego you're going through, Lauren, which is the key for a light worker. Dissolving your ego is the first step, because as you dissolve the ego, we surrender to high consciousness. And the purpose of the soul contract is to understand how the ego is actually built and how to dismantle it. So we can surrender and embody higher consciousness, raise our frequency. The more we have embodied that higher consciousness, the more easy it is to follow the spiritual signature. Then life just becomes magic. Life just unfolds. We're in the right place at the right time. As you've been describing, you just know what to do, just feels right. And then you start to trust more. So you don't need a plan B if you trust more, because you know it's going to work. Okay? And that's the purpose of the work. It's full ego dissolution, and all the learning that goes with that by working viscerally, emotionally through all the issues is your training as a light worker to prepare you for the mission, which you may not be fully aware of yet, but it'll be revealed to you, as I said earlier, when the time is right. So it's very much about being in the moment. 99% of the things the mind worries about never happen, as you've noticed. Okay? Occasionally they do, because you spend too much time worrying about something, so you went off and manifested it, and if you hadn't been focusing on it, it wouldn't have happened. Okay, so it's about very, very much being aware of the games the mind is playing. And that's why we have the soul contract. It's the spiritual map of life to guide you in the optimal path and to know what to clear. And we have a thing called divine healing, which Mira, who developed the soul contract with me, developed to clear the ego of the things we identify with the soul contract. So the two go together. So you have the spiritual map of life you flow down, and you know when you're distracted, when you're getting distracted with it, because it's not working. It's becoming really hard work, expensive, painful. Okay, and when you come back onto the spiritual map of life and you clear the issues as you travel down that spiritual roadway, life opens and flows, which is how it's meant to be. And you get on with the mission. Some of the experiences are very challenging. They're meant to be, so it gets our attention. Okay, it's not meant to punish us. Okay, even though the ego may feel like it's being punished, it's not meant to punish us. It's about learning from them, because it's part of our training. Because it has to be strong, or else we wouldn't pay attention. Okay, because we get to the point we have no choice. We need to engage with the process and learn from that. Okay, but that's your training as a light worker. So it's very important to realize they're just lessons, and you never get more than you can handle, even though you may feel that. It's enough to get your attention, so you do something, and then you come out the other side stronger, wiser, and you've burnt a whole bunch of karma. So you're a little bit closer to following this flow of spirit, bringing your missions online. Okay. Anyone else got any questions or comments? Jogita, you got your microphone on. You going to ask me something?
Hello, I just keep getting notifications that I have to turn on my microphone third time in a row.
You have to slow down. You're speaking a bit too fast. It's breaking up.
Oh, sorry, I'm always talking like that. I'll try to slow down. All right. I mean, I got notification to turn on my microphone because
Yeah.
a host wants to speak to me. So I think, okay, maybe I have one question. One thing, I don't know if you see my camera or not, because I do everything through the phone.
You have
The
to slow
thing is,
down a bit. You
I
have to
bought
slow,
your book.
you have to slow down a bit more, because the sound quality is not great, so I can hear you.
I bought your book.
Yeah.
I tried to calculate my contract,
Yeah.
and what I have seen, my last letter of my surname is completely unusual, and you couldn't find in any alphabet, even by the way how it sounds, like how I can calculate as much as I can to see what's going on, because by this day until now, until today, since I born, in my life, I could say was total turbulencia every single day. I thought, what is going on right now? Since you're born, you wake up you imagine like beans in the glass, and you're shaking them non-stop. And since you're born until you're 40, I'm almost 40, and I thought, oh my God, I lost my parents, I lost my family, I lost my friends, I lost my house, I lost everything else. This is endless. And I think, what is going on?
You have to slow down a bit more. You have to slow down. Okay. So what is
Maybe
what is
maybe I just have to disconnect my headphones. Maybe just by that quality.
Okay, so what is the letter? What language is the name in?
Sorry, without headphones is really bad signal.
That's much better. Okay.
Okay.
So what language is your name in?
Lithuanian.
Okay.
It's in
Right.
Europe, and none of them have, because our alphabet has 32 letters, and letters A, Y, E has additional signs on it, and
Okay.
none of them has anything different. I mean, none of any country has them.
Okay, so what you need is a name assistance service, okay, to create the phonetic version of your name, okay? So I'll post that in the YouTube description in order to get the correct
All right.
version of your name, okay? It's not something we can do here, so it's too complex.
But the question is the main thing, since I was reading in those astro charts and numerology, astrology. I got many visual dreams, between different realms, and I thought, what is going on between this world and another world? What's going on here? Why I have to nip myself, bite myself to see if I'm dreaming or not, because it's really different.
Yeah,
and when my family fell apart almost 10 years ago, I thought, okay, I have to find out what's going on. And this was just the beginning. I thought, this is the life, what's going on? And I think,
You
why
would need
was
to,
no,
you need to get the correct version of your name to explain
I am.
why all
It's
this is
me.
happening. Okay. All right. So there's probably some issue of being too open to the astral high dimensions, which will be in the chart. Okay. It sounds to me like you're living in two realities at the same time because of the connection you have to spirit.
But a really interesting thing, when I started to do my astrological readings, they said I have this connection with my parents before birth. I just born and I've been left. I mean, my parents was alive, but I mean, they died and they passed away. And I think, how I can figure out how to carry on without guidance from that parents. Some parents are very beautiful. Some parents are very strict, but some leave you alone. I think,
Yeah.
and how are you supposed to carry on?
Yeah, Jagita, we can't get into a long discussion here. This was just meant to be it's just to see some brief questions, okay? Because really
Sorry.
to discuss this, you need to have a proper reading, actually, with a proper version of your name to actually understand
So,
this. Okay?
okay. So the question is, if I used to feel that I, in my dreams, can travel somewhere else, visual dreams, then I think, oh, I wake up. That means that was only the dream. How I do know that my other side, if I have that other thing, what something exists, it really exists. If that my physical body is not only think what I can see in the mirror. What if something else exists somewhere else? How can I connect with that part?
Well, you need to look at your proper chart to actually answer all those questions, okay? So I can't answer it now because we don't have the proper chart to see exactly what's going on, okay? But thank you. All right.
Thanks.
All right. Anyone else have any questions? Manny, do you want to ask a bit more in depth your question so I can answer that? You have to switch your microphone on if you want to ask that. You don't have anyone else have any other questions? No? Okay. Let's continue with the presentation then. Okay. Got a few more things to say here. And if you guys think of any questions, just ask me. Just switch your mic on, ask me. So now you've seen how powerful this work is. If you're wanting to help others, either as a facilitator or a therapist or a coach, this work allows you to immediately and profoundly understand yourself and your clients, so you can accurately guide them through your work with them. It builds a lot of trust because they know it's true, you know it's true, so you get much better results. Okay, so it saves a lot of time. And also this pure truth of this work dissolves the ego's defenses because it can't handle the truth because it's spent its whole life trying to keep you away from the truth of who you really are or who the client really is. So if you're wanting to help others, which I know some of you are, what you'll learn on the level 1 training is a great understanding of yourself and others, and you learn how to give readings based upon people's birth names through interpreting the energies associated with each of the 22 letters of Hebrew. And you learn to trust and open and develop your channel to bring this information through. And you learn experientially. A lot of you may have read the book, but it's not more of the book. It's more where we immerse you in the transmission of the 22 numbers. You receive an energetic physical transmission by sitting in the field of the training. And what happens there is that you'll become the work. That's how we do the training. And the way we do that in the first 3 days is that we use examples of your name and the names of all the other people in the class, and you share. We explain what the numbers are, then you share your subjective experiences of what those numbers are like. And the emotional energy transmission of that, the result of that is that you'll never forget what that means. And everyone has a go, has a turn, as much as we can. So you become the work, which is far beyond knowing the work. Everyone who comes to the work wants to know it more. It's about becoming, so that you are energetically vibrating with this frequency. It's awakened in your DNA. And this physical transmission is the most powerful way of learning because it's experiential. You'll never forget it. And we support you with community support groups on Facebook. We have Zoom support programs. And we also have a thing called Marketing and Manifesting Your Business. It's especially useful for you guys transitioning from corporate into the spiritual world. We teach you how spiritual business works, which is quite different, the energetics of it, than corporate work. Okay. So you can transition if you're trying to create a business out of this. So what you'll do with your clients is you'll show them where they are on their spiritual map of life, how they can align to their soul life purpose, and you'll touch them deeply because the truth just dissolves the ego and it builds enormous trust and connection. So when you're working with them, they go very deep. I've been doing this for about 34 years, this work, and it's still the most amazing thing to do, is to help someone find out who they are. And it brings a lot of compassion for others when you see how challenging their lives are, but you can show them the way, what's there and how to move forward and change their lives. I think having my reading from Frank in 1990 was one of the most profound things that ever happened to me, because he explained all the weird, disparate things that have been going on and showed me there was a clear spiritual map. Things were very organized by my soul, and it didn't appear like that to me. My life was chaos at that time. So after the 3 days of receiving the transmission of what the numbers mean, you'll then spend 2 days preparing and giving readings in the group to different people. And the aim is that you can deliver these readings soon afterwards. You'd be amazed what you can do because you become it. The mind's trying to understand the process, but then suddenly you deliver it because you've been sitting in the field for 3 days. So with a bit of practice, you can go out there and make a difference in the world. Okay, so anybody got any questions on the training side of things? I think some of you come to find out about that. And we do it on Zoom. Any questions there? No. So the next training runs from 2nd to the 4th. That's the first 3 days of transmission of becoming the work of October. We have a day off because you need to integrate that because it's very strong. And the 6th and 7th where you practice. You give a reading to part. You learn we teach you how to give a reading, prepare and give a reading. You do one practice reading on the 6th and another one, and then you give it to your partner and they give one to you. On the 7th, we do the same thing. So you take it to another level. And so that's the essence of the training. It's transmission, then how to hold space and deliver readings. And the training runs from 12:30 to 8:30 p.m. UK time, 7:30 a.m. Eastern to 3:30 p.m. Pacific is 4:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We do this because we teach out to Europe, and so it saves people flying, which is what they used to do from the west coast of North America. And the Europeans can stay up to about 9:30 p.m. So that's our Western Hemisphere training. And so you can find out more at soulcontractreadingtraining.com. And the total cost is not about $900 approximately, depending on the exchange rate, £718. And there's a deposit here of £277 or $350 if you want to secure your place. It's starting to fill up. And if anyone's watching from Asia or New Zealand or Australia, which happens as well, where people in China and Japan and things like that, next year we do it once a year. We have the Asia Pacific stream that runs 29th to 31st of May and 2nd to 3rd of June 2025. We start at 6 a.m. UK time, finishing at 2 p.m. It's designed really for Australia, Southeast Asia. It would mean starting about midnight in North America, although some people come. But that's for you guys who want a more comfortable time in Asia, because we're expanding out there as well. Okay. You can find out more about that at soulcontractreadingtraining.com. So does anyone, Andra, you've got your microphone on. Do you have a question? No? You don't. Anyone else?
Sorry. Sorry.
You do have a question. Go for it.
It was accident, but okay. I'm from Latvia,
Yeah.
and I was asking my higher self, please show me the method that I need to learn or do. What's my next step? Because I don't want to do something that is in mainstream in Latvia right now in this spiritual society. Yeah, my higher self showed me this contract, soul contract, and it resonated because I read my soul destiny. It's 13:4.
Yeah.
And now I am new mom. I have only 1 year and a 3-month-old baby, so I don't know how can I manage this oh my God. I'm a little bit shy to speak in English because it's not my language.
You're doing pretty good.
Thank you. And that's my concern, to take part of these learnings, because I don't know if I can do this one-on-one session with participants, but maybe this is all the practice. And yes, it's so resonating with me, this my soul destiny and my karma. I'm struggling with this right now. I have 8-8.
You have what?
8-8 karma.
Okay. But if you want to come along, you'll need someone to look after the baby while you're actually in the training. Where it's taught is that we teach it in about 4 1.5 hour slots per day, and there's like 1.5 hours, 20-minute break, another 1.5 hours, another 20-minute break, another 1.5 hours, and then we have a 20 minutes. Well, no, we have a 1 hour break, another third break. So there's time to look after the baby in between.
Okay.
But you do need to have someone who's primary caregiver. You can't be looking after the baby and on the training. It won't work.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
And that's why I'm doubting about this, but I'm just looking what my higher self is trying to do with my life.
Yeah.
And if it's meant to be in this course, I will take a part. If it's not, I will do maybe next year or something like that. But I'm flowing, and I don't know. I'm just curious to know what's all about this. And I have done some kind of course. I did this timeline healing technique. It was 3 days, and I know the energies and what it does with the body, and so I know. But no, I'm the mother, so it's a little bit difficult for me.
Yeah. Well, do you have relatives or parents?
I have a baby father, but he's skeptical all of this spiritual, and he's a little bit controlling. So it's a little bit secret that I'm doing this stuff, and I don't like this feeling.
Yeah. Well, I think the main thing is to set the intention that someone will look after your baby with love and care, and focus on that. Don't focus on. If you focus on it's going to be challenging, then it will be. But if you focus on it will go with grace and ease, then it's more likely someone's going to turn up. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Someone's left me a message here. Just thank you. Okay. Anyone else got any questions about the training or any other issues we covered today?
Is there any training classes like maybe in the afternoon in Central Time, like starting at 8 p.m.?
Well, that would be 2 a.m. my time, so it's not viable to do that.
No,
Because I can only teach to 8:30 p.m. my time, which is 2:30 p.m. your time. Otherwise, I'm not much use. You see.
Yes, sir. Understood.
So it has to be early in North America. It's the only way we can do it. So.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, so it means, yes, you probably have to take time off work if you really want to do this. But if you're wanting to move forward and transition out of what you're doing, it requires a bit of investment. I know you guys don't get much holiday, so you could sort of think about how you want to handle that. Okay.
Is there any way you can read my name or maybe 5 minutes or so?
No, we gotta finish now, Precious, because it's yeah. Otherwise, we only usually have time for one. But you can come for a reading if you want. I'll put links for readings if you want a more in-depth one. Okay. All right. Anybody else got any final comments? Questions? No? Okay. Well, thanks everyone for coming along and participating and engaging. We'll get the video out probably next week, so I have to splice a couple of videos together, seeing the internet had a bit of a dropout at the end. And I hope that helped. Okay. Any questions, just email me. You've got my email address. Don't hesitate. Help you move forward. And we're trying to build a global network of practitioners to wake up as many people as possible. So you're welcome to come along to the training if you feel that calling. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Appreciate you. Bye.